Hello everyone, before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It's quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's dive into today's story. Meet Emma Brooks, a waitress struggling to make ends meet. Every day, she works long hours at a small diner, hoping for a better life. She's not exactly living the dream, but it's what she has. The life of endless shifts, dealing with demanding customers, and scraping by, paying her rent with what little she earns. But there's something Emma truly desires: to open her own art studio. She has a passion for painting, a dream that seems so far out of reach. As she stands at the counter during a quiet shift, she's lost in her thoughts, staring at the sketchbook she keeps hidden in her apron. She sketches to escape the harsh reality she faces every day. But today, things are different. It's a Tuesday night when Emma's best friend, Jenny, convinces her to go on a blind date. Jenny's been trying to set her up for weeks, and tonight, Emma reluctantly agrees. Just one date, Jenny insists. It'll be fun. Emma's nerves hit her the moment she walks into the fancy restaurant. The warm lighting, the crisp white linens on the tables, and the soft clink of glasses. It's the kind of place where everything looks expensive. Emma feels out of place. Her second-hand dress and scuffed shoes are a stark contrast to the polished guests around her. She's scanning the room, her heart pounding. Table 7, she mutters to herself, trying to calm her nerves. Her eyes finally land on a man sitting alone, his back to her, dressed in a sharp suit. He's absorbed in his phone. That has to be him. She walks over, trying to steady her breath, forcing a bright smile on her face. "Hi, you must be Kevin," she says, her voice a little shaky as she takes the seat across from him. He looks up, startled, blinking at her for a moment. Hi Emma, he replies, clearly confused. He's about to say something when he hesitates, his eyes shifting to his phone. Emma misreads his confusion as shyness and tries to make the conversation flow. "Oh, I know, blind dates are weird, right?" she says with a nervous laugh. "Jenny told me you might be a little quiet, but don't worry, I can talk enough for both of us." Kevin, or rather, the man sitting across from her, smiles faintly. "Right, blind dates are something else," he finally says, his voice warm but guarded. Emma continues to talk, her nerves spilling over. She shares a bit about her life, how she works double shifts at the diner, how she dreams of one day opening a studio but can barely pay rent. Kevin listens quietly, nodding, his attention focused on her. She doesn't know why, but there's something about him that makes her feel understood. He doesn't seem like the usual high-maintenance guys she's been set up with in the past. He's different. They talk for a while, and Emma starts to feel a little more comfortable. She's about to ask him about his job when her phone buzzes. She glances at the screen, and her heart sinks as she reads the message. "Hey, Emma, where are you?" "I'm at table 7. Looking forward to meeting you, Kevin." Her face goes pale as the reality hits her. "Oh my God," she mutters under her breath. She looks up at him, embarrassed. "You're not Kevin, are you?" Her voice barely above a whisper. The man's smile falters, guilt flashing across his face. "No, I'm not," he admits softly. Emma's stomach churns as the truth sinks in. She stands abruptly, her face turning red. "I'm so sorry, I sat at the wrong table. This is so embarrassing." She grabs her coat and bolts for the door, leaving him sitting there, watching her go. As she runs out of the restaurant, she doesn't notice the conflicted look on his face as he watches her leave. For some reason, he feels bothered. It's not just the mistake, but the connection they had during their conversation. Something about her sincerity, her honesty in the middle of her own struggles, pulls him in. He hadn't expected it, but now he's curious. As he sits back in his chair, he wonders if he'll ever see her again and why the thought of not seeing her bothers him so much. Hello everyone, before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It's quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's dive into today's story. Meet Emma Brooks, a waitress struggling to make ends meet. Every day, she works long hours at a small diner, hoping for a better life. It's not glamorous, but it's the life she has. The endless shifts, dealing with demanding customers, and just getting by, paying rent with whatever she earns. But there's something Emma truly wants: to open her own art studio. She has a passion for painting, a dream that feels out of reach, yet it keeps her going. As she stands behind the counter, lost in her thoughts, she stares at the sketchbook she always keeps hidden in her apron. She sketches to escape her reality, but today feels different. It's a Tuesday night when Emma's best friend, Jenny, convinces her to go on a blind date. Jenny's been trying to set her up for weeks, and tonight, Emma reluctantly agrees. Just one date, Jenny insists. It'll be fun. Emma's nerves hit her the moment she walks into the fancy restaurant. The warm lighting, the white linens on the tables, and the soft clink of glasses. It's the kind of place where everything looks expensive. Emma feels completely out of place. Her second-hand dress and scuffed shoes stand out against the polished surroundings. She scans the room, her heart racing. Table 7, she mutters to herself, trying to calm her nerves. Her eyes land on a man sitting alone, his back to her, dressed in a sharp suit. He's absorbed in his phone. That must be him. She walks over, taking a deep breath and forcing a smile onto her face. "Hi, you must be Kevin," she says, her voice a little shaky as she takes the seat across from him. He looks up, startled, blinking at her for a moment. Hi Emma," he replies, clearly confused. He's about to say something when he hesitates, his eyes darting back to his phone. Emma misreads his confusion as shyness and tries to keep the conversation going. "Oh, I know, blind dates are weird, right?" she says with a nervous laugh. "Jenny told me you might be a little quiet, but don't worry, I can talk enough for both of us." Kevin, or rather, the man sitting across from her, smiles faintly. "Right, blind dates are something else," he says, his voice warm but guarded. Emma continues to talk, spilling a little too much about her life: how she works double shifts at the diner, how she dreams of opening a studio but can barely pay her rent. Kevin listens quietly, nodding, his attention focused on her. She doesn't know why, but there's something about him that makes her feel understood. He doesn't seem like the usual polished, high-maintenance men she's been set up with before. He's different. They continue talking, and Emma starts to feel a bit more at ease. She's about to ask him about his job when her phone buzzes. She glances at the screen, and her heart sinks as she reads the message. "Hey, Emma, where are you?" "I'm at table 7. Looking forward to meeting you, Kevin." Her face goes pale as the reality sets in. "Oh my God," she mutters under her breath. She looks up at him, embarrassed. "You're not Kevin, are you?" she asks, her voice barely above a whisper. The man's smile falters, guilt flashing across his face. "No, I'm not," he admits softly. Emma's stomach twists as the truth sinks in. She stands abruptly, her face burning. "I'm so sorry, I sat at the wrong table. This is so embarrassing." She grabs her coat and bolts for the door, leaving him sitting there, staring after her. As she runs out of the restaurant, she doesn't notice the conflicted expression on his face. He watches her go, feeling something he can't quite place. It's not just about the mistake, it's about the connection they had, no matter how brief. The way she spoke so openly, so genuinely. He hadn't expected it, but now, he's curious. As he sits back in his chair, he wonders if he'll ever see her again and why the thought of not seeing her bothers him so much. The next morning, Emma can't stop replaying the events of the previous night in her head. Her face still flushes with embarrassment every time she thinks about the mistake she made at the restaurant. But there was something about him, the way he listened, the way he didn't judge her for her awkwardness. She can't get him out of her mind. But she quickly brushes it off. She has enough to worry about. Rent's due in 3 days, and her tips from the diner barely cover her bills. She pushes thoughts of a man she met by mistake to the back of her mind and focuses on what matters: surviving another day. As she stands in front of the stove at the diner, flipping pancakes, her phone buzzes. She picks it up, glancing at the screen. It's a text from Jenny. "Hey, I just heard from Kevin. He wants to meet you again. He said he'd like to apologize for last night." Emma blinks, confused. Kevin? She hadn't expected to hear from him, much less get an apology. She quickly types back, "What do you mean? Why does he want to meet?" Jenny responds almost immediately, "He feels bad. He thought you were adorable. He wants to buy you coffee and make it up to you. You should go." Emma hesitates. She's not sure if this is a good idea. After all, he's probably just being polite. But then again, she tells herself, why not? It's just coffee. What could it hurt? Emma shows up at the cafe a little later than planned, her nerves gnawing at her. She keeps telling herself it's just coffee, but she can't shake the feeling of nervous excitement. She spots him as soon as she walks through the door. He's sitting at a corner table, looking relaxed and different. Gone is the sharp suit from last night. Today, he's wearing a simple sweater and jeans. He looks more like the kind of guy she might actually run into at the diner. He looks up as she approaches and smiles warmly. "Hi Emma," he greets her, standing up. "I'm glad you came." "I wasn't sure about this," Emma admits, still a bit unsure of what's going on. "I didn't expect to hear from you again." She takes a seat across from him, trying to keep the conversation casual. "Last night was a bit awkward," she says with a nervous laugh. "I didn't mean to embarrass myself." Kevin shakes his head. No. Don't worry about it. I've actually been thinking about it a lot," he admits, his voice sincere. "I was a little surprised myself at how easy it was to talk to you. You're different from the usual crowd I'm around." Emma is taken aback. "What do you mean?" she asks, her curiosity piqued. She suddenly feels more at ease in his presence. He pauses, then smiles. "Well, you weren't afraid to be honest with me. You didn't try to impress me, you just were yourself." He leans back slightly in his chair. "I've been in meetings all day with people who only care about money, numbers, and status. It was refreshing to talk to someone who doesn't care about that stuff." Emma looks at him, her curiosity growing. She notices that even though he's trying to keep things light, there's something a little guarded about him. Emma chuckles softly. "Well, that's just who I am. I'm not exactly swimming in money, so I guess I don't have much to pretend about." She looks down at her coffee cup. "I've been working in the diner for years. It's a tough life, but it's the one I have. I'm just trying to get by, you know?" Kevin's expression softens. "I know what you mean. I get it. I didn't grow up with much either. Things haven't always been easy for me." His tone shifts slightly, becoming more serious. "But I've built something now. Something I never expected to have." He pauses for a moment, and Emma feels a strange tension in the air. It's as if he's about to say more, but then he shakes his head, dismissing whatever it was he was thinking. Instead, he changes the subject. "So, tell me about your art. You said you wanted to open a studio, right? What kind of art do you do?" He leans in a little, genuinely interested. Emma's eyes light up. "Painting. I love to paint. It's been my dream since I was a kid." I know it's a long shot, but I want to have my own studio someday. Somewhere I can teach others, you know? I want to share what I love with people who get it. Kevin listens intently, nodding. That sounds amazing. I can see you making that happen, he says, his voice steady. You've got the passion. That's the most important thing. He leans back in his chair, as if lost in thought for a moment. When he looks back at her, there's a glimmer in his eyes. Maybe I can help you with that. Emma's heart skips a beat. What do you mean, she asks, her voice tentative. Kevin smiles slightly, his expression unreadable. Let's just say I have some resources, and I know a few people who might be able to help make that dream of yours come true. But first, we need to talk about what you really want. Emma is taken aback by his offer. She wasn't expecting this, especially not from a stranger she met by accident. But there's something about Kevin, something genuine in the way he's looking at her, that makes her wonder if this is real. Could this really be the opportunity she's been waiting for? What's the catch? Emma asks, skeptical. Kevin laughs softly. No catch. Just an offer. You can think about it. No pressure. He stands up, pulling out his wallet. I'll leave you to think it over. Just know that I believe in what you're doing. You've got something special. As they both stand up, Kevin hands her his business card. Just think about it, Emma. Don't let your dreams slip away because of fear or doubt. With that, he walks away, leaving Emma standing there, holding the card in her hand, her thoughts racing. Emma stares at the card in her hand. What just happened? Was this real, or was it some kind of elaborate gesture? A part of her wants to believe it, but another part of her wonders if it's all just a dream. The next few days pass in a blur for Emma. She can't stop thinking about Kevin's offer. At first, she tells herself it's just a coincidence, a kind gesture from a stranger with too much time and money on his hands. But then, his words echo in her mind. You've got something special. It's been so long since anyone believed in her art, in her dream. And for the first time, she dares to think that maybe just maybe she can make it happen. The thought makes her stomach flutter. She looks at the card he gave her again. Kevin Parker, CEO of Parker Enterprises. It feels surreal. A man like him, offering help to someone like her. She can't shake the feeling that she's walking in someone else's shoes, in a life that isn't her own. But she knows she has to decide whether to take the leap or let the opportunity slip away. That afternoon, Emma gets off work earlier than usual. The diner is quiet, the lunch rush long gone. She grabs her bag and heads out the door. She's made up her mind. She needs to know more, to see if there's a real chance at this, or if she's just fooling herself. As she steps into the street, she pulls out Kevin's card and dials the number. It rings a few times before someone picks up. Hello, this is Kevin Parker, a calm voice answers. Hi, Kevin, Emma says, her voice shaking a little. It's Emma Brooks. We met a few days ago. There's a brief pause. Of course, Emma. I was wondering if you would reach out, Kevin replies, a hint of a smile in his voice. What's on your mind? I've been thinking about your offer, Emma admits, feeling her heart race. I'd like to meet with you. To discuss it more, if that's okay. Absolutely, Kevin responds quickly. I'll set something up for tomorrow. How about lunch at my office? It'll be a chance for us to talk more about your plans. That sounds good, Emma says, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. I'll be there. The next day, Emma arrives at Parker Enterprises, her hands trembling slightly as she steps into the sleek, modern building. She's never been in a place like this before. The polished floors, the glass walls, the spotless white decor, all of it feels so far removed from her little apartment and the greasy diner she works at. She almost turns around and walks out, but then she remembers the dream she's carried with her for so long. She takes a deep breath and steps inside. When she enters the office, Kevin is waiting for her. He stands up as she walks in, offering her a warm smile. "Emma, it's good to see you again," Kevin says, gesturing for her to sit. "I'm glad you came." "Thank you for having me," Emma replies, sitting down across from him. She looks around, feeling out of place but determined to stay focused. Kevin pours them both coffee, the rich aroma filling the room. He leans forward, his eyes locking with hers. "I've been thinking about our conversation," Kevin says, his tone serious yet encouraging. "You have a passion, and that's something rare. Most people don't follow their dreams, they let fear stop them. But you've kept going, even when it's hard." Emma looks down at her coffee, her fingers nervously tracing the rim of the cup. She doesn't know how to respond to his praise. "I don't know if it's passion," she admits quietly. "It's just something I've always wanted, but I don't know if it's possible. I can barely make rent each month. How am I supposed to open a studio?" Kevin looks at her, his expression softening. "Emma, that's why I'm here. To help. You don't have to do it alone. I know people, and I have the resources to help you get started. But more than that, I believe in what you're doing. I know what it's like to fight for something you believe in. This is your chance to do something meaningful." Emma is silent for a moment, the weight of his words sinking in. She's not used to people believing in her. She's always had to rely on herself, pushing forward even when the odds were against her. But Kevin's offer feels different. It feels real. And maybe that's the scariest part. "What do you want in return?" she asks, her voice barely a whisper. She needs to know what the catch is. Kevin smiles faintly. "Nothing, really. I just want to see you succeed. If you can make this happen, I'll help however I can. You don't owe me anything." Emma sits back, feeling a mix of emotions. It sounds too good to be true. But she knows she can't let this opportunity slip away. She has to at least try. "Okay," she says finally, meeting his gaze. "Let's do it." Kevin nods, pleased. "Good. We'll start by setting up a meeting with some of my contacts. I'll guide you through everything. Just trust the process, and I promise, you'll get where you want to go." As the conversation continues, Emma's mind races with possibilities. For the first time in years, she allows herself to dream again. Maybe this is the beginning of something bigger than she could have imagined. But as the meeting comes to a close, there's still a part of her that wonders, what if it's too good to be true? The days following Emma's meeting with Kevin are a whirlwind. She can't believe how quickly things are moving. The plan Kevin laid out for her seems almost too good to be true. She's met with some of his contacts, and they've already started discussing potential spaces for her studio. Every conversation feels like a step closer to the life she's always dreamed of. But there's a part of her that still can't quite let go of the doubts that have been a constant companion throughout her life. She's always been the one to fight for what she wants, never expecting help from anyone. And now, suddenly, she's being offered a chance to live her dream just like that. She wonders if it's real, if she's truly deserving of this opportunity. But she knows one thing for sure: she can't back out now. She has to keep going, even if it means stepping out of her comfort zone. One afternoon, as she's leaving the diner after another long shift, Emma checks her phone and sees a text from Kevin. "I've got something for you. Can we meet at my office tomorrow at 3 p.m? Her heart skips a beat. She doesn't know what it could be, but the anticipation is almost too much to bear. She's been trying to focus on the studio plans, but everything feels like it's moving so fast. She tells herself to calm down, but her mind is already racing with possibilities. What could Kevin have for her? A grant? An investor? Or maybe just more guidance? She doesn't know, but she's about to find out. The next day, Emma walks into Kevin's office building with her stomach in knots. She's been here a few times already, but every time feels just as overwhelming. The tall glass walls, the modern decor, the air of professionalism, it all reminds her how out of place she feels. But today, there's a new sense of purpose inside her. She's not just a waitress anymore. She's someone with a future, a dream she's actively working toward. She stands in the lobby for a moment, taking a deep breath, and then steps onto the elevator. When the doors open to Kevin's floor, she's greeted by his assistant, Claire, who shows her to his office. Kevin stands up from behind his desk as she walks in. "Emma, good to see you again," he says with a warm smile, gesturing to the chair across from him. "Please, sit." "Thanks for seeing me on such short notice," Emma replies, settling into the chair. She tries to keep her voice steady, but the nervous excitement is almost overwhelming. "I'm curious about what you wanted to show me." Kevin's smile widens, and he leans forward slightly. "I've been talking to a few people about your art studio idea," he begins. "And I think we've found a space that could be perfect for you." Emma's heart jumps. "A space?" she asks, her voice barely a whisper. "You mean, a place for my studio?" Kevin nods. "Exactly. It's a beautiful location, plenty of room for your gallery, plus space for classes, workshops, and events. It's everything you've talked about and more. The best part is, it's available now." Emma can hardly believe what she's hearing. She thought it would take months, maybe even years, to find a place. But here it is, right in front of her. She feels a mix of excitement and disbelief. "This is really happening," she whispers to herself. Kevin notices her reaction and smiles knowingly. "I knew you'd be excited. But there's more. I've arranged for the lease and initial setup costs to be covered. You won't have to worry about those expenses for the first 6 months." "Wait, what?" Emma exclaims, her eyes wide. "You're serious? You're covering all of that?" Kevin chuckles. "Yes, I'm serious. I believe in you, Emma. I want to see you succeed, and sometimes, you need a little push. This is your chance to build something that's yours, something that will make a real impact." Emma's mind is spinning. This feels like a dream. "But why are you doing this?" "Why me?" she asks, her voice barely a whisper. She can't shake the feeling that there's something she's missing. Kevin leans back in his chair, his expression softening. "I told you, Emma. I believe in you. And I know what it's like to start from nothing. I've had my share of struggles. But I also know that with the right support, anyone can make their dreams come true. This is my way of helping someone who deserves it." Emma feels a lump form in her throat. She's overwhelmed by the kindness, by the trust he's placed in her. She's not used to this kind of support, and she doesn't know how to respond. All she can do is nod, a tear threatening to escape her eye. She quickly wipes it away, not wanting to show weakness. "Thank you," she says, her voice cracking slightly. "I don't know what to say. This is more than I ever imagined." Kevin smiles, his eyes warm with sincerity. "You don't need to say anything. Just make the most of this opportunity. I know you will." Emma leaves Kevin's office that day with a new sense of purpose. The future she once dreamed of is now within reach, and she knows she can't let this chance slip away. As she walks out of the building, the weight of her worries seems to lift, replaced by the excitement of what's to come. For the first time in a long while, Emma feels like she's truly in control of her own destiny. The following weeks are a blur of activity for Emma. She's finally settled into the studio space that Kevin helped her secure, and the place is coming to life in a way she never thought possible. The walls are covered with her paintings, and she's already starting to schedule classes and workshops. She still can't quite believe her dream is actually happening. But as much as she's enjoying the new venture, she can't ignore the weight of the tension in the air whenever Kevin's name comes up. Despite all the support he's given her, there's still something she doesn't fully understand about his intentions. He's been kind, yes, but Emma can't shake the feeling that there's more to this story than just helping her with her art. She's been thinking about it a lot lately, especially since their last meeting. And today, she can't ignore it any longer. After closing up the studio for the night, Emma pulls out her phone and sends Kevin a text. Hey, Kevin, are you free tomorrow? I'd like to talk about something. She doesn't know why, but something inside her urges her to ask. Kevin's reply is almost immediate. Of course. I'll be at my office around 2. I'll see you then. Emma takes a deep breath, feeling the butterflies in her stomach. She doesn't want to sound ungrateful, but she needs to understand why Kevin is doing all of this for her. She can't keep moving forward without knowing the truth. The next day, Emma arrives at Kevin's office, her heart pounding. She's never felt more nervous walking into his building. She's spent weeks working on her art, building relationships with clients, and gaining confidence in her abilities. But when it comes to Kevin, she's still unsure where she stands. She walks into his office, and as usual, Kevin is there waiting for her, standing up from behind his desk with a warm smile. Emma, it's good to see you, Kevin says, his voice calm as he gestures to the chair across from him. What's on your mind? Emma sits down, trying to steady her breathing. I've been thinking a lot about everything lately, she begins, her voice slightly shaky. And I need to ask you something. I need to know why you're helping me. I mean, I appreciate everything you've done for me. I really do. But I can't shake the feeling that there's something more to it. I don't know what it is, but I can't move forward without understanding why you're doing this for me. Kevin's expression softens, and he leans forward slightly, his gaze focused on her. I understand why you're asking, he says, his tone gentle. I knew this conversation would come at some point. And you deserve to know the truth. But before I tell you, I want you to understand that what I'm doing for you is not out of obligation. It's because I believe in you, Emma. I see something in you that I don't see in a lot of people. Emma looks at him, her mind racing. But why me? Why take such an interest in my dream? You barely know me. Kevin takes a deep breath, his eyes thoughtful. You're right. I don't know you that well. But I've seen how hard you've worked. I've seen how much you care about your art, your dream. And I understand what it's like to be in a place where you don't think you can make it. Trust me, I've been there myself. He pauses, his voice quieter now. I wasn't always this successful. I didn't come from money, and I had to fight for everything I have. I know what it feels like to struggle, to doubt yourself, to feel like your dreams are out of reach. And I wanted to help you avoid going through that. I want you to have the chance I didn't get. Emma listens, feeling a lump form in her throat. For the first time, she starts to understand. Kevin's not just helping her for some business deal or for his own gain. He's doing it because he's been where she is. He knows the pain of having big dreams but not the means to make them happen. I had no idea, Emma says softly, her voice trembling slightly. I didn't realize you had struggled too. She pauses, trying to absorb everything. But why didn't you tell me all of this sooner? Kevin smiles, but it's a sad smile. I didn't want to overwhelm you. I wanted you to focus on your art, on your dream. I wanted you to take this opportunity without feeling like you owed me something. Because you don't. I believe in what you're doing, and that's enough for me. Emma sits back in her chair, taking a deep breath. She feels the weight of everything he said, and for the first time, she feels truly seen. It's not just about the studio or the money, it's about someone believing in her, even when she didn't believe in herself. Thank you, she says quietly, the words barely escaping her lips. I didn't realize how much I needed to hear that. Kevin nods, his expression soft. You don't need to thank me. You just need to keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing forward. Your success is all I need to see. As Emma walks out of Kevin's office that afternoon, she feels a weight lifted off her shoulders. She understands now why he's been so supportive. It's not about business or a hidden agenda. It's about kindness, about helping someone who deserves a chance to make their dreams come true. And for the first time in her life, Emma feels like she's on the right path. The next few weeks are a whirlwind for Emma. The studio is coming together in ways she never expected. The walls are lined with her paintings, and the first workshop she hosted was a success. She feels a sense of pride she hasn't felt in years. But with every success, there's also a creeping sense of uncertainty. She keeps questioning herself, her ability, her worth, and whether this dream is really hers to have. She's still not used to the idea that she has this support from Kevin, from the people he's introduced her to. It feels like a dream, one she can't quite believe is real. But she's not about to let that stop her from moving forward. This is her chance, and she can't afford to back down now. One afternoon, as she's finishing up a class, Emma notices a missed call from Kevin. She picks up her phone and dials his number, feeling her heart rate quicken. The call connects, and Kevin's voice comes through, calm and steady as always. "Hey, Emma," Kevin says, his tone warm. "I just wanted to check in and see how things are going with the studio. I hope everything is working out." "It's been incredible, Kevin," Emma responds, smiling as she leans against the counter. "I've been busy, but everything's coming together. I can't thank you enough for all the help you've given me." Kevin chuckles. "You've earned every bit of it, Emma. You've worked hard for this. But listen, I've got something I think you might want to hear." His voice shifts slightly, a hint of excitement in his words. "I've been talking to a few people, and I think we can take this to the next level." Emma's heart skips a beat. "What do you mean?" she asks, her voice tinged with curiosity. Kevin pauses for a moment, and Emma can practically hear him smiling through the phone. "I've been in talks with some investors. They're interested in backing your studio, helping it grow even more. They're excited about your vision, your passion. I believe this could be the break you've been waiting for." Emma feels the ground beneath her shift. She's always dreamed of growing her art into something bigger, but she never imagined it could happen so quickly. "Investors," she repeats, almost in disbelief. "You really think that's possible?" "I do," Kevin assures her, his voice steady. "You have something special, Emma. And with the right backing, you could make this studio into something that changes the way people think about art. It's an opportunity, and I think it's the right time to take it." Emma leans back against the counter, her thoughts racing. She's worked so hard to get here, but the idea of taking on investors, expanding in ways she's never imagined, feels overwhelming. "I don't know, Kevin," she says quietly. "I've always done things on my own. I don't know if I'm ready to let someone else in." There's a pause on the other end of the line. Kevin speaks slowly, choosing his words carefully. "I get it. It's a big decision, and it's not one you should take lightly. But think about it, Emma. This is a chance to build something that lasts, something that will make a difference. You don't have to do it alone anymore. Let others help carry the load. You've worked hard enough." Emma is silent for a moment, processing his words. It's not just about the studio anymore. It's about what it could mean for her future. She's always been afraid to ask for help, to lean on anyone, but this time, maybe it's different. Maybe she's not just asking for help. Maybe she's accepting the chance to build something real, something that can change her life. "Okay," she says finally, her voice steady. "Let's do it. Let's see where this can go." Kevin's voice brightens with excitement. "That's the spirit. I'll set up a meeting with the investors, and we'll take it from there. You've got this, Emma. I know you do." After the call ends, Emma stands in the quiet of her studio, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and nerves. She's about to take a big step, one that could change everything. But for the first time in a long while, she feels like she's finally ready. Ready to build the life she's always wanted. She looks around the studio, the space she's made her own, and for the first time, she sees the future clearly. It's not just a dream anymore. It's real. And she's not going to let it slip away. The weeks that follow are both exhilarating and exhausting for Emma. The studio is growing, the investors are on board, and things are moving faster than she ever imagined. She's working day and night to keep up with the new demands, handling everything from curating art exhibitions to teaching new students. For the first time in her life, she feels like she's truly living her dream. But with all this success comes an undercurrent of stress. Emma is constantly worried about the next step, the next challenge, and whether she can keep everything under control. She's always been a one-woman show, but now, with investors involved and the studio expanding, she feels the weight of the responsibility in a way she never expected. One evening, after finishing a late class, Emma heads home, exhausted but with a small sense of pride. Her mind races with thoughts of the future, the growing number of students, the upcoming gallery show, and the financial side of things. She knows she can't handle it all alone, but there's a part of her that's reluctant to ask for help. She's so used to being independent, to solving problems on her own, that the thought of relying on others feels strange. She tells herself she'll figure it out, that she just needs a little more time to adjust to this new phase of her life. As she walks into her small apartment, she notices her phone buzzing on the kitchen counter. She picks it up, and her heart skips when she sees the name on the screen: Kevin. She hasn't heard from him in a while, but she's always glad to talk to him. He's been a steady source of support since the beginning, and his words always seem to put her mind at ease. She answers the call. "Hey, Emma, how's everything going?" Kevin's voice is warm, as always. "Busy," Emma replies with a laugh, sinking into her couch. "But it's good. The studio is growing, and the show we're planning is getting a lot of attention. I just feel like I'm barely keeping up with everything." Kevin chuckles. "That's good, right? You're doing exactly what you set out to do. I know it's a lot, but trust me, you're more than capable." Emma pauses, biting her lip. "I don't know, Kevin. It feels like I'm constantly running from one thing to the next. And with the investors involved, there's a lot more pressure. I'm starting to wonder if I can really do this." Kevin's tone shifts, becoming more serious. "Emma, I want you to listen to me. You've built this from the ground up. You've worked harder than anyone I know, and that's why you're here now. Don't let the pressure get to you. You don't have to do it all alone." Emma sighs, the weight of his words sinking in. She's always been afraid to ask for help, but she knows he's right. Maybe it's time to let go of some of the control, to trust the team she's built and the people who believe in her vision. She can't keep doing everything on her own. Not if she wants to continue building something meaningful. "You're right," Emma says softly. "I think I'm just afraid of losing control. I don't want to mess this up." Kevin's voice is gentle but firm. "You won't. You've already done more than most people could ever dream of. Just take a step back when you need to. Let the people around you help. That's how you grow, Emma. You don't have to carry it all by yourself." Emma leans back, her mind racing with thoughts of everything Kevin has said. For the first time in weeks, she feels a sense of clarity. Maybe it's time to stop fighting so hard against the idea of asking for help. Maybe it's time to trust the process and lean into the support she's been given. She doesn't have to have all the answers right now. "Thank you, Kevin," she says, her voice full of gratitude. "I really needed to hear that." Kevin laughs softly. "Anytime. You've got this, Emma. Just keep doing what you're doing." After hanging up, Emma sits in silence for a moment, reflecting on the conversation. She's always prided herself on her independence, but she knows now that it's okay to let others in. With the studio flourishing, the investors backing her, and Kevin's unwavering support, Emma feels like she's finally on the right path. She doesn't have to do everything alone. And that realization makes all the difference. As the weeks pass, Emma begins to settle into a new rhythm. The studio is thriving, and her vision is becoming a reality in ways she never thought possible. The investors are pleased with the progress, and Emma is finally starting to feel like she belongs in this new world. But with every success, the pressure continues to build. The gallery opening is just around the corner, and there's so much to do. Every day, she juggles meetings, workshops, and preparing the artwork for the event. She feels proud of how far she's come, but she also knows that if she's not careful, it could all slip through her fingers. One evening, after a long day of work, Emma stands in the studio, staring at the paintings on the walls. She's surrounded by her creations, each one a piece of her heart, and yet, she feels a growing emptiness. For the first time in a long while, she realizes something important's been so focused on building the business, on proving herself, that she's forgotten why she started all of this in the first place. It was never just about success or recognition. It was about her love for art, her need to share that passion with others. She has allowed the pressure of growing the studio to overshadow the very thing that brought her here. Emma picks up her phone and dials Kevin's number. It rings a few times before he picks up. "Hey, Emma. How's everything going?" Kevin's voice is calm and friendly, as always. "Hi Kevin," Emma replies, trying to sound upbeat. "It's going well, but I've been thinking a lot lately." She pauses, unsure how to express what's on her mind. "I've been so focused on the business side of things that I feel like I've lost sight of why I started this in the first place. The passion for the art, the connection with people, it's all getting buried beneath the weight of deadlines and expectations." Kevin listens quietly on the other end, his tone understanding. "I get it, Emma. I've seen you working so hard, but sometimes, you need to take a step back and remember why you started this in the first place. It's easy to get caught up in the details, but the heart of it all is your art, your creativity. Don't lose that." Emma takes a deep breath, feeling a wave of relief wash over her. "I know. I just don't want to disappoint anyone, you know? I've been so worried about making sure everything's perfect that I've forgotten why I wanted this. I wanted to inspire people, not just make money or meet expectations." Kevin's voice is gentle but firm. "It's normal to feel that way, Emma. But you have to trust yourself. You've already created something incredible. You've built a community around your art, and that's something special. People are inspired by what you do, not just the business side of things. You can still succeed without losing sight of what matters most." Emma nods, even though he can't see her. His words hit home, and she feels like a weight has been lifted off her shoulders. She's been so caught up in the fear of failure that she forgot about the joy she once found in painting, in sharing her work with others. "Thank you, Kevin," she says, her voice filled with gratitude. "I needed to hear that. I'm going to take a step back and focus on what I love about this again. The business will follow, but I can't forget why I'm doing this in the first place." Kevin laughs softly. "Exactly. And remember, it's okay to lean on others when you need to. You don't have to do everything alone." Emma smiles, feeling more at peace than she has in weeks. "Thanks again, I really appreciate your support." After the call, Emma takes a few moments to breathe deeply, reflecting on everything she's accomplished. For the first time in a while, she feels centered again. She realizes that the balance she's been searching for is not just in managing her business, it's in reconnecting with her passion for art. The gallery opening is still on the horizon, and there's still a lot of work to do. But for now, Emma knows she's on the right path. The journey ahead is not just about success, it's about staying true to herself and her love for art. The night of the gallery opening arrives, and Emma stands at the front of the studio, her heart racing. The space is filled with people, artists, collectors, and visitors, each of them admiring her work. The walls are lined with her paintings, the same pieces she once doubted would ever see the light of day. Now, they're displayed in a beautiful, well-lit gallery, drawing praise and admiration. For a moment, she stands still, taking it all in. This is the moment she's worked for, the culmination of everything she's fought for. But more than that, it's the moment where she finally feels like she belongs in this world. The world she once thought was too far out of reach. And yet here she is. Kevin is standing nearby, talking to a group of guests, but his eyes are always drifting back to Emma, watching her with pride. Emma catches his gaze across the room, and for a brief second, everything feels like it's aligned. The moment she's been waiting for, the moment when she realizes that her dream is not only possible but thriving. She smiles at him, and he gives her a slight nod, acknowledging the unspoken connection between them. The night continues, with laughter and lively conversation filling the air. Emma makes her way around the room, speaking with guests, explaining the inspiration behind her paintings, and answering questions with a newfound confidence. She feels like she's in her element, no longer the nervous waitress, no longer the woman who was unsure of her place in the art world. She's finally become the artist she always wanted to be. As the evening comes to a close, Emma finds herself standing at the door, watching guests leave, her mind spinning with everything that's happened. She's made it. The studio is a success. Her work has been seen, and it's been appreciated. She couldn't have done it without the support of the investors, the guidance of Kevin, and the belief that she could make it. She glances around the room one last time, a sense of accomplishment flooding through her. She's built something real. Something that will last. Kevin walks up to her as the last of the guests leave. "You did it, Emma," he says with a smile, his voice warm and genuine. "This is just the beginning. You've got a bright future ahead of you." Emma smiles, her heart swelling with gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without you, Kevin. I'll never be able to thank you enough." Kevin shakes his head. "You don't need to thank me. You did all the hard work. You believed in yourself when it wasn't easy. That's what got you here." As Kevin turns to leave, he pauses, looking back at Emma. "Just remember, Emma, this journey is yours. It's never about the money or the recognition. It's about doing what you love, and sharing that with the world. You've already made it." Emma stands there for a moment, absorbing his words. She looks around the gallery once more, taking in the space that's now hers. For the first time in a long time, she feels truly at peace. The road ahead won't be easy, there will still be challenges, still moments of doubt, but for the first time, Emma knows she's ready to face them. She's no longer the woman who doubted her abilities. She's an artist. She's built this life, and she's going to make sure it lasts. As the gallery lights dim and the last guests filter out, Emma smiles to herself, knowing that this is just the beginning of her journey.